It says a bakery uses 8 tablespoons of honey for every 10 cups of flour to make bread dough. Some days they bake bigger batches and some days they bake smaller batches. But they always use the same ratio of honey to flour. Complete the table as you answer the questions. Be prepared to explain your reasoning. So for number 1, it says, how many cups of flour do they use with 20 tablespoons of honey? So before trying to answer these questions, we need to figure out what was 8 multiplied in order to get 10 cups of flour. Okay, we need to figure out the relationship between, or the unit rate between honey to flour. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to actually divide 10 divided by 8. Now this is in a fraction form or ratio form, but I can always simplify my fraction before doing any real division. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide by 2, and I should get 5 over 4, or 5/4. Now I can leave it just as it is. I don't have to simplify even more. So I'm going to leave it as times 5 over 4. So when you multiply 20 times 5 over 4, you want to put a 1. So I'm going to put this for number 2, 20 over 1 times 5 over 4. And I'm going to multiply, going straight across, should be a 100 over 4. And then you ask yourself, well, what's 100 divided by 4? If you guess 25, you are absolutely correct, because you can look at it as like how many quarters are in $1, and there is 4 quarters in $1. So now I want to do the same thing to this. I want to multiply 13 times 5 over 4. So this is for number 3. So 13 times 5 over 4. I want to put a 1 underneath that 13. And I should multiply going straight across. And I should get 65 over 4. So I could put 65 going inside and 4 on the outside. And then I'm just going to do some quick math. And this would be 6. And that would be 24. But I can leave it as a fraction. The whole number that's at the top is going to be 16. The one that's the remainder, which is right here, is going to be the numerator. And 4 is going to be the denominator. So 16 and 1/4. But whenever I'm going from honey to flour, I need to multiply times 5 over 4. But whenever I'm going from flour to honey, I need to divide. So I'm going to do question number 3 all the way over here. So I'm going to actually divide 5 over 4. Now I need to apply the multiplicative inverse, which is also known as keep, change, flip. And when I multiply going straight across, I should get 80 over 5. So when I divide 80 divided by 5, I put my 1, 4, and I should get 18. No, I should get 16. Let me do that math again. Okay. And let me write a bit neater. So 80 divided by 5. And then that goes in there one time. 3. Okay, there we go. There we go. And it should be 16. Okay. So for questions, so we kind of answer all the questions within one table just by trying to complete the table. But for number 1, it should be, it says how many cups of flour? 25 cups of flour. It says how many cups of flour would you need for 13? You'll say 16 and 1/4 cups. How many tablespoons of honey would you need? You'll need 16 tablespoons. And then they said, what is the proportional relationship represented by this table? And the proportional relationship represented in this table is the relationship between the honey and the flour. If you want to, you could write the ratio down, which I'm trying to erase all my work so I could write a sentence that you guys can read. But the proportional relationship, you could write it in ratio form, and you could put, for every 1 tablespoon of honey, there is, and I could break this down to its actual form. I could turn those 5 fourths into a mixed number now because I'm done doing my math with it. 5 1/4 cups of flour, or 1 1/4 cups of flour. Okay, guys, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to challenge you guys to try to do this activity on your own, which is quarters and dimes. It seems like it's much more simple than that one that we just did. But if you have any questions about this lesson, please refer to your manager's Google Meet session.